there. Raise your hand if you have ever avoided looking at your checking account because you're really afraid of what you're going to find in there. I get it. I've been there many times in my life, especially when I was younger. But avoiding your money is actually costing you way more than you think. And today I'm going to show you how to go from chaos in your money to having it back in control. That's what we're doing today. So by the end of this video, you'll have a whole bunch of steps that you can take, not a whole bunch, it's three. Three steps that you can take to go from that chaos to clarity. Because when you have clarity, that's when things start moving in a better way and that ease and the flow starts coming. Without stress, without spreadsheets, and without overcomplicating things. You know me, I like to keep things simple. Less is more, unless you're talking money. We want more money, right? You want your money to work for you, not against you. So if you're new to my channel, I am Maria Condi. I am a mindset, money, and empowerment coach for women, helping women create more financial independence in their life, losing the struggle, and starting creating that life that they truly, truly want, living on their terms, not somebody else's agenda. So let's dive into today. One of the biggest reasons people have stress around money is avoidance. They don't want to know what is there. They're afraid that they're going to get this big, scary thing shown in their face, right? It's putting your head in the sand. And that actually causes more stress. So it's self-fulfilling prophecy there. And the longer you avoid it, the worse it feels. And that's not what you want, right? You want to feel good about your money. You want it to grow. You want to put positive energy into it so you get more of it. You don't want to keep your head in the sand. And it's, that first pulling your head out of the sand is a little bit daunting at that time, at first time. But you know what? That anxiety goes down more and more and more the more you do this. I'm going to give you three things today that are going to help you get your head out of the sand, take ownership of your money, start feeling empowered with it, and have a little bit more confidence with your money. Think of it as brushing your teeth. Those small daily actions, you have to do that every day. And if you do this regularly, it's going to be a habit. You don't even think twice about it. And it's producing better and better results for you. Your teeth, no different. You don't think every day about, do I have to make a checklist to go brush my teeth, right? You just do it because you know it's serving you well. And you want your money to be like that too. So we've got a 5-minute financial reset for you today. First thing, I want you to open your bank account, whether it's on, if you're doing paper still, that's okay. If you're using an app, a lot of people use apps. My money has been on Quicken for years. It's a love-hate relationship. It used to be awesome. It's gotten more challenging over the years because our banking system has gotten more challenging. Whatever works for you, do what works for you. And when you open your app up and start looking at it, don't label it if it's good or if it's bad and start attaching a bunch of stuff to it. It just is. It's like the weather. It's neutral. It just isn't. Money is a tool. We put way too much emotional attachment to it. So it's like looking at the weather. We want it to just be neutral, right? You don't want to be all attached and emotional about it. If you're getting a little bit of anxiety about opening that app, just simply take a deep breath before you do it. Say, I got this. I can do this. This is the first step. First step's always the hardest, right? And then start that path. Awareness is power. We all know that, but we don't always do it. When you're in there, start looking at the last 5 to 10 transactions. And you do want to see how it makes you feel a little bit. So I don't want you to bear your emotions completely because you want it to say, you want those things to stir up and go, oh, wow, I had like 7 Starbucks this week and I ate breakfast there 3 times. That was like $100. And that's not quite how much it is at Starbucks, but depends. If you have your daughter like mine, it costs me $100 to do that if I had that every that many days. And highlight anything that really stands out. Maybe you've got subscriptions that need to be dealt with that God, I haven't watched, you know, my Amazon or Netflix or Disney or whatever, Hulu. Like there's a million different apps out there for television. A lot of people have multiple and don't watch them. It's just not a good use of money. So go through that at least 3 times a week. Take note, see what's going on, watch for the patterns, start identifying things, start seeing how you're feeling about it. And that's the first thing. And, studies show that people that track their money are more financially secure because they know what's going on. And you might not like what you see at first, but that you have to walk through the process to get to where you want to go. Keeping your head in the sand is not going to get you from point A to point B. It just doesn't. So choose a date of like a day of the week. Have your money date. Pick a day and do it maybe it's every single Sunday night. You dive into this in a big way, checking those transactions. You do want to look at it maybe 3 times a week, just looking to see what's going on in your account so your head's not in the sand. Making sure there's charges going through that's not that you don't have any theft on your account or anything either. And then the third part of this first component is to look at those charges and say, do these align with my values? Is this really what I want? Or am I like emotional spending, for instance? Look at those and answer that question. Is this aligned with what I really believe in, my values, my goals? The more you do that, the easier it is for me, like when I started doing this years and years ago, I have no desire to go shopping anymore because my why and my goals are set and they're strong. And it's like, okay, I'm on track now. That's just a deterrent. My noon hour shopping I used to do when I was working in my corporate job, 20 years ago. I don't do that anymore. I have no desire to go to the mall. My daughter wants to go today because we actually need a couple things, and I don't even want to go. And that's to get the things I actually need. So it can be done. When you start doing that, it takes away the sting of it. And the more and more you look at your money, the less it's controlling you and the more you're going to be controlling it. That's number one. Second one is identify those money leaks. And we started talking about that. And that is about, you know, those subscriptions that we don't use anymore or charges that like, okay, I admit this. I've had a Microsoft charge going through, and I noticed this last year. And I use Microsoft all the time, so I thought it was sort of valid. But then I realized I had two things charging me Microsoft, one through this account and one for that account. It's like, okay, hang on, because I had an annual one and then I had a monthly one. And then when I finally realized this, I stopped the monthly one, right? Because I had two things going on. But when you start looking at things, you'll see these money leaks. And small leaks lead to big sinking big ships. Think of that. Remember that. Because those little leaks will take you down. You need to plug all those holes for things to start moving up properly. And you don't have to give up everything you love, but you need to be strategic about what you're looking at. If you watch, say, Disney once every 3 months, it's not worth it, especially if you want something bigger. Or maybe you have a gym membership that you never go to. You either start going to the gym and build your health better, or you close that account. And you find even if you're spending, like you go out every Saturday shopping. That used to be a thing I did. Saturday was a shopping day, and like you come home $500 later, and it's like, oh, why did I do that? And I used to get really, really mad about my Saturdays and going shopping. And then I realized that this was a pattern that I was doing. So watch your behavior when it comes to those sorts of things. A great thing to do is look at your bank account for the last 30 days. Where are all these money leaks? The subscriptions, the bank fees, dining out, coffee shops. You'll realize those impulse Amazons in the middle of the night. And download everything into an app. Start watching. I use Quicken because I can put all my categories in. Yes, it takes a little bit of time, but I can say, geez, I'm spending $1,500 a month on groceries and half of it's going in the garbage because we're wasting it. It creates awareness. And then with that awareness, you can do different actions. And then calculate the cost of those money leaks. Is it a coffee every day that maybe you could just make a coffee at home? Maybe it's a subscription you don't use. Maybe, you add all those up. That can be a couple $1,000s a year. And if you wanted to have a little bit of a trip, a vacation away, but you don't think you've got the money for it, or maybe you've got some debt you want to pay off, there's your money with these little tiny leaks. You don't have to cut them all at once. But start doing one at a time and be strategic about, okay, this month I'm going to cut out this one. This month I'm going to cut out this one. And gradually you'll get to where you want to go. So that was number two. Number three is about mindset. And I'm a mindset coach, so mindset changes everything. So you can do all those little things, but mindset is like a big, big chunk of our view on money and a relationship with money. Those are very tactical things that you can do that I just step one and two. But number three, looking at your mindset, the scarcity mindset equals stress, avoidance, fear. When you have a wealthy, abundant mindset, that's empowerment, that's clarity, that's freedom, and that's what we're after. So think about the beliefs that you have. A lot of that will come up when you get your head out of the sand and start looking at money. Think about when you're going to the mall or going to a store and you're buying things. I used to spend a lot of money on groceries because I was always afraid that I'd not have enough. That scarcity mindset. Now I'm more comfortable with like looking at the week and doing some meal planning and say, okay, this week we're going to have chicken this day. We're going to have some salmon today. Speaking of which, I just forgot to take out my salmon for dinner. Huh, I have to write a little note for that one. And be a little more intentional about it. I am very much on creating a life with intention because then it drives where you want to go. You're not on somebody else's agenda. I believe in simplicity. I want you to reframe the way you think about money, your relationship money. If you say, I can't afford this, reframe them and say, I don't have the money for that right now. What can I do to make that happen? How can having that be easy? I know I'll have that someday. It's just not today, but I will take strategic action to get there. I know what's going to be mine. I'm terrible with money, is another thing you might say to yourself. I've said that. I don't trust myself with money. You got to use some affirmations to turn those mindsets around and those beliefs around. I'm learning how to manage my money more and more every day. So look at those beliefs that you have, flip them around, flip that script around, and when you're putting all this together, does the path I'm on align with my long-term goals? Often it's not. If you're not where you want to be, you've got some disconnect with what's happening, the tactical things that you're doing, and then the beliefs that are attached to all of those things. Remember, money's a tool. Give way too much emotional weight to it. You want to love it. You want to bring more in. Not be afraid of it. Not be afraid of get into the scarcity. Lose the fear around it. Then you'll lose the struggle. We want to get rid of that struggle. We want that ease. We want that flow. You want it to be easy. And when all of those are in alignment, things start to flow better. An affirmation you can use. I'm the CEO of my finances. I attract and use abundance to create the life that I desire. You've got this. And then right now, I'm a very, action-based coach. You can listen to me all you want, but if you don't take action, it's going to do shit for you, right? You need to take action. Track your expenses for a week. Start looking at things. Start saving if you don't have an emergency fund. If you want, if you like what I'm teaching here, if you want more of that, join us over in Bloom. I would love for you to share in the comments one way you're going to, like, what's your takeaway from this? What's an action you're actually going to do? Inspire others to take action. Together, everyone rises when we do this. Big part of financial freedom is having your heart and mind free from worry and those what ifs in life. It's from Susie Orman, not my own. But I believe in that too. You're worthy of having those desires, losing the struggle. A lot of people I feel are addicted to struggle. And you don't have to live in that space. You don't. You are worthy of having whatever you want. And with that, if you've loved the content that I'm producing, I'd love for you to share it, like it, subscribe so you can get more of it. Check back to the channel regularly. And if you want to take this to the next step, join us over in Bloom. And we will see you next time. Have a great day, everyone.